Hey guys, it's Dean. Welcome to Manful Yoga. In today's video, I'm going to show you what I know about deadlifting. So I don't profess to be a deadlifting expert, but I have been doing it for about over 10 years now, and it's a staple in my workout routine. So I will show you what I know based on my experience with deadlifting and also my experience with yoga and how that's actually carried over into deadlifting and weightlifting in general. So what I've learned through yoga is slow, controlled movement. I've learned to pay attention to my body to make sure that certain muscle groups are engaging, and because of that, I've been able to lift much more effectively than I did before. I've also learned from coaches and from informal training over the years about deadlifting. So if you don't know much about deadlifting, I'm going to show you this. If you're an advanced deadlifter, you're probably not going to get much out of this. But if you do want to learn more about deadlifting and how it can help or the technique for deadlift, this video is going to be good for you. The reason I enjoy and recommend deadlifting is because it's just a great exercise for your lower body. Very good for developing your posterior chain complex, so the hamstrings, the glutes, your erector spinae, your abs, your thighs. It's just a very good full body exercise to help you develop lower body and core strength. So let's get going. So I'm going to start off with 135, but you're welcome to start off on just the bar if this is new to you, or maybe 95 pounds or something like that. So let's go ahead and take this off, and I'll kind of walk you through my technique, which is pretty similar to, which is a standard technique. It's nothing special, but I will show you it regardless. So with deadlift, the goal is to put the weight in your hips. Most people who make mistakes in deadlift put the weight in their back. And so they'll get through the lifts, but they'll feel some discomfort in their back, and they might feel sore for a couple days afterwards in the lower back. We want to make sure that that isn't happening. You shouldn't feel pain in your lower back afterwards, or you shouldn't feel like you're struggling with your lower back. And the ways that I found that have really helped to mitigate that lower back pain is a couple of techniques. So the first is we're going to make sure that we're pressing the hips toward the ground as we stand up, right? So as we pull the weight up off the ground, we're going to press our hips toward the ground, and I'll show you what that looks like. It also helps to kind of pull the bar up off the ground just a tiny bit. You're not actually going to move the weight, but you're just going to have that tension of pulling the weight away from the ground before you start. So what that looks like, I'm going to grip the bar, and I'm going to do a double overhand grip. So meaning my palms are facing back. I'm not facing my palms up like this, or one palm up, one palm down, but I'm going to do both facing back. I'm going to have my feet facing as straight forward as possible. It's the same reason for a squat. I want to make sure that my feet are facing straight forward, and I'm not compromising my hip mobility. If you would like to turn your toes out a little bit, right? So if you want to turn your toes out to face kind of toward 11 and 1, I've heard some people do that. But I would not turn it out that much. I would turn out just maybe a little bit to the sides, just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to have my feet a little bit closer than shoulder width, so not quite as wide as I have them for a squat, but a little bit closer than that. And then I'm going to grip the bar. Again, double overhand grip. Make sure I'm right in the middle. And then I'm going to lightly pull the bar away from the ground, right? Just a tiny bit. So notice how the bar is just lifting up. So it's just me pulling the bar up a little bit. I'm not actually lifting away from the ground. I'm just pulling it up. Now you want to hinge at the hips as you're sitting down. So I'm not going to bend my knees forward and then sit down, because that puts the weight in my thighs, in my quadriceps. What I want to do is hinge at the hips, right? So I'm going to bend the knees just a little bit, push my hips back and down. Again, so I'm hinging at the hips, and the weight is in my glutes. It's in the back of my thighs and my hamstrings to start. If I start it in the quadriceps, it's going to stay in the quadriceps. So again, hinge at the hips, and that movement takes some practice to do. So you might want to spend just even a couple minutes just kind of practicing that hip hinge, bringing the butt straight back. Now you're going to grip the bar, and you want to pull your chest forward. You're going to keep your chest looking forward, and that's going to help you keep a flat spine. We want to make sure that we're not arching the back. We also want to make sure that we're not rounding the back. So we're right in the middle. You're going to feel your core engage. You're also going to feel those muscles, your erector spinae, the muscles on either side of your spine engaging. And then as we start, we're going to pull a bar up just a little bit, and you're going to push your butt down toward the ground. So pulling up, pushing hips down, and then standing up Thighs are also squeezing toward one another. So I'm keeping thighs squeezing toward one another, glutes are engaged, core is tight, and again, a little bit of upper back activation by pulling the bar up a little bit. So one more time, holding a little bit wider than shoulder width. I'm going to get the bar as close to my shins as possible, and pull my chest forward, push down through my heels, squeeze my thighs toward one another, and then make sure my spine is neutral. Pull the bar up a little bit, press my hips down, and then just lift all the way up, and making sure that you're exhaling as you're standing up. So one more time. So I'm pulling the bar, pushing my hips down, big breath in, exhale, stand up. Okay? So there's the deadlift. Thanks for joining me for this workout today. Make sure you subscribe. We put out lots of videos like this on a very regular basis. And to get full access to all of my workouts, my programs, tutorials, and more, head to manfulyoga.com, sign up for a 7-day trial. It's just $1. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video.